Hello Taurians, thank you for coming back. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to the channel, thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe, as that will circulate it to other people who also may need to see these messages. This is a general reading, so I try to pack in as much as I can into each reading so that you're touched in some way. But it may also apply to somebody that you are close to at this time, somebody that you're interacting with currently. You may actually be seeing what I'm saying coming through for them. If you have a strong influence in your birth chart, which is associated with another sign, so it could be your ascendant or your moon or your Venus, something that you know does definitely have an influence, then certainly you can cross-watch to my other videos and get more insight and information. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, and as the cards, I've shuffled them already as they appear in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear for you at this time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another element here, which is the bottom of the deck, because I feel these cards are actually kind of giving an overview of your situation this month. And so elements of this energy are actually coming out in every other house for you this month. So this is an action-packed month for you, and it's going to be precipitated by some kind of event or an upheaval or some sort of change which is coming for you, and that is going to trigger certain things, certain actions from you, or certain perceptions from you, which is going to shift you in a whole lot of different ways. So the energy of this card, which is a solar eclipse revolution, it is in fact that we are all going through revolutions of some kind, but this is particularly aspected in yourself, your relationship, your close personal relationship, your home, and your finances. There are other aspects coming in as well, they're backing it up, but those areas are particularly noticed at this time and connected to this shift that you're going to make. So from the first house right around to the 12th, I'm just going to pick out the most important words which are going to be associated with this energy. So it's a no-nonsense, go-get-it action that is required from you at this moment. So whatever the event that it occurs, it's going to stimulate this kind of situation. So no-nonsense, go-get-it, things rising to the surface. Things that need to be dealt with now, starting to rise to the surface. A decision needs to be made. There's going to be streamlining of unnecessary things. A new home or some kind of finance in order to get a new home is coming in for you. Endings and beginnings are very strongly indicated right across the board, or it could be a renewal or a new level in something. But whatever it is, there's a change occurring there, some kind of evolution. Then this is also about forging ahead, taking action, but you're going to have to move quickly on it. Whatever it is, it's something that you kind of know you've got to do, but you're going to make this decision and move quickly on it. Putting the past behind you, dealing with it, putting it behind you, mastering your own goals, releasing and redirecting your energy. It's about purpose. Legal issues may be coming up for you as well. This is also about waiting for something to happen. Something has been triggered and now you're waiting for the pieces to fall into place, but action is required. Also, when making changes, as they come up, you may have to let go of certain things. You may have to give up certain things for the greater good. So all of these energies coming in for this card. So let's get ahead now with the first house. We have Aries, I am. So this is the first initiation for your action card. Your first house is everything to do with yourself, your actual physical self, your emotional self, your appearance, your vitality, your life force, all embodied in this house. It's also how you are perceived by others, what you project to others, so how they are seeing you, how they're perceiving you, the mask that you're presenting to people. It's all your self-oriented interests. It can be physical activities, your gym regime, or just yourself, how you are moving forward on a daily basis in the world. So it's your personal independence and so on. Your characteristics, your personality, and all of that. So with Aries, I am coming in. This is enthusiasm coming up for you. An enthusiastic response. You're going to find find that fire has been lit for you now. So this is action that needs to be taken, but it's got to be disciplined and measured. Avoid going into the impulsive, rash reactions, okay? You need to be following disciplined and measured action at this time, because your energy is going to be spread across a great many areas this month. So as I said, this is a no-nonsense, go-get-it card. It's about being dynamic. You might be feeling quite lusty and sort of feeling all those powerful, passionate energies coming through you. It's a trailblazing energy. You may be involved in sport or competition of some kind, but you're going to have to take the lead. Just be careful that it's not rash, hot-tempered actions. Okay, so excessive speed, accidents, aggression, all of that, you want to try and contain it with disciplined and measured action. This card affects your 4th house, and it affects your 7th house as well. So all of these are coming in, and I'm going to generate certain activities for you. Then in the 2nd house, we have Scorpio I transform. Your 2nd house is your house of income, the money that's coming in for you. And it's also to do with your self-worth, and it's also to do with your values, what you value, your value systems, all forms of ownership and possession, and your values around that. So what you value in yourself is also important, what you value in others and in your surroundings. So now, hugely important areas, and Scorpio transform is coming in, and this is being, as I said, activated by this event or whatever it is that's gone on in your chart. Or it could just be the rising to the surface of something, which is indicated by this card. Anything with Scorpio and Pluto, things come out from under the surface. So secrets, it could be hidden things, either hidden feelings or some other circumstance, or something that was not known is now coming out. Or it could have been vaguely known, or you were aware of things changing and moving, but you just didn't have a name to it yet. Okay, this could also be a blessing in disguise coming up for you, something coming up, but rising to the surface, something rises to the surface. It could also be suspicion, or it could be just intensity of all kind comes upon you. Sex, death, and rebirth are all the themes of this card. So that indicates something new from old. So something comes out of an old thing and becomes a new thing for you. So it's almost like a phoenix rising up. Be careful with your money, your taxes, your property. Inheritances may also come in here for you. It could be joint issues that you're dealing with, or it could just be you changing things, and now you really are having to look carefully at everything. There's a lot of self-analysis going on with this card. Something falls away, something begins, so endings and beginnings, winning and losing may come in for you. This card may also cover shared assets in some way. You may have to protect your reputation and what you have worked for. So just be aware of that in the 2nd house. Then in the 3rd house, house of communication, this is all forms of communication, verbal, written, body language. It also rules documents, contracts, and interactions with specific family members as well. This is communication on all levels. It can be to the public, or to people that are close to you, or to people that you work with, however, but it can also be specific family members like aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, relatives, general relatives, and also neighbors may also come in for this. So this is about weighing things up. This is very much a detail-orientated card. Weighing things up, evaluation, analyzing, coming to a decision. Streamlining is necessary. You're going to need to get organized. And if you are going to be giving advice or talking to others, or speaking to others, you're going to have to be precise about what you're saying, but be careful that you aim for helpful, useful, and constructive conversation or advice, or whatever it is that you're communicating. You need to be focusing on that side of the Virgo spectrum, which is helpful, useful, constructive. All that weighing up, those details, that analyzing is wonderful when it's required. Also reliability as well. So your writing, words, editing, all of that is going to be important. Also selfless service may come up in this as well. Numbers, figures, details of all kinds, accuracy. So be accurate about what you're saying. Don't sort of, unless it's absolutely strictly necessary, slip off into criticism, nitpicking, or excessive worry and analysis paralysis, which is the other end of the spectrum with Virgo. Then in the fourth house, we have Jupiter return benefits. So this is your fourth house, is your house of your home, your physical home, but it's also the atmosphere in the home and the people in your home. So with Jupiter return benefits, you could be going into a new home, or you're receiving finance or some kind of benefit which allows you to have a new home or to create a new home, or perhaps you're changing your existing home, you're renovating it, changing it somehow. Because it's a return, it implies that this is something coming back to you from before, and that's usually 10 to 12 years ago. The return takes 12 years to come around back again. So it's something from before which may now come back to you with benefits. You're going to reap the benefit of that, or it comes bearing fruit in some way. So it could be an inheritance as well, coming back to you now, something that's coming to you. It could also be a windfall or an opportunity of some kind, a gift or a blessing, and something beneficial from the past, but you're going to have to be quick to take advantage of it, and you're going to have to work at it to bring that blessing to you. It may fall in your lap, but it's going to require some kind of effort to harness all the possibilities around that. It could be also just gaining faith and strength in your home environment. This house also deals with your relationship with your family history, your foundation, your roots, your ancestry, your ethnic identity. It's your relationship with that. So you're going to get some kind of boost to do with that. Perhaps it's an understanding, or perhaps it's some kind of benefit to you, which you've been grappling with that in the past. Perhaps you've had a rocky relationship with your family, your family roots or your foundation, and now you're coming to terms with it in some way. There's some kind of blessing associated with that. This is also the card of doors opening. It's the yes card. It's the go ahead card. Dreams manifesting. It could even be a release of some kind. So freedom of some kind coming for you. It could also be love and romance coming in for you in your household. So the other side of this is just to avoid overindulgence or overspending. So think about your money, which is coming up in your money houses as well. Just think about that and put it to the best use possible. Then in the fifth house, we have Pluto transformation, so another transformation card. So this is the fifth house, is the house of your recreational activities of all kinds, all your fun, sporty, any kind of pleasurable activity. It could even be gambling or some kind of speculative adventure like stock market. But it's any kind of sporting or fun activity, pleasurable activities. It covers love affairs. It covers your creative pursuits or your creative expression. It also covers children. So these are your children or children that you are associated with at this time. So now with this card coming in, there's some kind of transformation going on here. It could be to do with any one of those areas. It could be to do with you and your children. Or it could be that conception is coming in here for you in some way, because this card does cover birth, sex, and death, or this is symbolic death, right? Or rebirth of some kind. So it's almost like there are life changes coming in for you. So if you aren't conceiving a child, then that is certainly going to bring a life change, or it could be something to do with a child. Perhaps you have a grandchild that is now coming into being. It could be any kind of association like that. Or it could just be new ways which bring about life changes for you. It's quite an intense situation going on. Hidden things, again, may come to the surface. Hidden things or hidden emotions or just hidden feelings. It could be to do with a love affair. Something is rising to the surface. But the old makes way for the new in some way with this card. Something is falling away to make way for something new. So it could be the ending of something or the beginning of something, or it could be a renewal or a regeneration of some kind, or a new level. So something is being taken to a new level. If that's a love affair, then it will come to you where it will now evolve into a much higher level. Perhaps it's then going to the relationship, a more permanent relationship. This card also brings in obsession, being fixated on certain things, certain outcomes, in whichever sphere. That could be children, it could be your creative expression, or it could be a love affair or some kind of activity as well. It could even be a sports activity which you're now getting really deeply into. This card is also about recycling of energy and all kinds of recycling. So this could actually just be a simple creative pursuit which you're involved in. So just think about how that could come in for you. But it's quite an intense period, and it's bringing in the new for you in some way, shape, or form. Then in the 6th house, we have Chiron healing. 6th house is everything to do with your work life, your workplace, your work colleagues, whatever work it is you do, mastery of your craft. And it's also very much to do with your health, your diet, and your lifestyle. And it's also the house of pets. So now with Chiron healing coming in, what this is saying to you, it's probably more health-based this time around, but it could be to do with work as well. It's basically reminders of past wounds, circumstances, or experiences. And these can be emotional or physical. They keep coming around again and again until they are dealt with in some way. So it could have been old circumstance or an old work situation which wounded you in some way, or it could be something to do with your health and your diet, or your emotional aspects to do with that. So some kind of experience may be coming around again and again until you deal with it. So it's like reoccurring, or it could just be something is coming up for you now, some aspect from the past which you now need to deal with, or it could just be a physical wound which is now manifesting and you need to deal with it now before you can move forward. So there will be no progress in this house until this issue is or issues have been dealt with. So things that come up like this to be dealt with, it's a deep wound in some way, whether it's physical or emotional, as I said. This is something that you need to shed light on. So you need to actually bring it into the light. You can't hide it, you can't bury it, and you can't shove it under the carpet. It simply will not stay there. So it will keep coming out until it's dealt with. It'll come in like cycles. So whatever it is, you need to bring it into the light. You need to look at it fully. And accept what function it has had in your life, what purpose it has had in your life, what was the higher purpose of that, however painful it may have been, what function did it have, what did it bring about in your life. You need to accept that, all that came with it, accept it, release it, let it go, and then then you'll be able to move forward. But you may have to obtain healing around that in some way. So this could be physical healing, as I said, or it could be emotional. And this card brings in all aspects to do with nature. Okay, so you may just need to be spending time in nature or harnessing nature in some way to help you heal. And this could be medicinal, it's natural remedies or natural therapies. You really need to explore all of that. Alternative healing, remedies and therapies. This is chiropractic, homeopathy, naturopathy, any kind of natural remedy or also natural therapy will serve you at this time, and Chiron is very well suited towards that. It could also be, if this is a work situation for you, it could be that you're learning and teaching in this field now. You could be sort of expounding on your knowledge to do with this, because Chiron is very much about that as well. So explaining explaining to others your experiences and how you've overcome it and what remedies you used to do that. You could also be visiting health facilities unexpectedly in some way. So it could be an accident or just some kind of mishap that occurs. You could be publishing in natural health as well, because that comes in with this card. Bones, spine, and internal organs are all aspected with this card. So finding healing in some way, shape, or form. As I said, it could be a work situation, and therefore this is about dealing with all the emotions around that, so that you can move forward onto something new, something different. 7th house, we have Mars force. So again, this comes from this first house action that you're going to be taking. So this is it's warrior energy coming in for you. So you may have to take direct action in some way. So this could play out in a number of ways, because this is 7th house is the house of personal one-on-one relationships. So this is a committed personal relationship, a love relationship, or it could be a business partnership. But there's some kind of challenge around the situation. So maybe you're having to actually compete for somebody that you've suddenly realized you really deeply love and want, or there's been some kind of challenge in your relationship and you're now having to take direct action to either rescue it or end it. Or is some kind of evolution going on there, but direct action is required from you. So you may be forging ahead, taking something to the next level. This is another way it can come out. But this is not aggressive action. Okay, if it's required, if you're having to fight for something, then try to go about it in a very measured and disciplined way. But there's some kind of challenge in here. It's going to activate your warrior energy in some way, but it's about forging ahead. You may have to defend or compete, as I said. But it's also, the other side of it is about feeling very passionate and lusty about this person in your life. So it could be a love relationship, or it's to do with a partnership that you very much want to bring into your life now, or you may be releasing it at this time. So what are your goals and desires in this house? What are your goals and desires for these relationships that you have? Whatever it is, if you need to take action, don't wait, because a fire has been lit and you need to move quickly on it, and which is indicated by your first house as well. Then in the 8th house, we have Saturn return age. 8th house is the house of, it's your finance, your big finance. It's your banking, accounting, taxes, investments, insurances, assets, everything to do with that. It's also could be inheritance. Inheritance came up before. Could be to do with that, or legacies of some kind. It's also the house of endings and beginnings. It's also the house of transformative energy. It's the house of the deeper sexual commitment between you and a partner, or it could be the merging of your emotional and material resources in a partnership. So that could be a love partnership, or it could be a business partnership. So now with Saturn return age, again, this is a return. It comes about every 29 years. So depending on where you are in your life, this is about looking back at the past and coming to terms with that and putting it behind you in some way. But in order to do that, you have to apply wisdom, hindsight, and understanding. It's also about being mature and taking responsibility for your own goals and dreams, all right? Because this is a maturing energy. It's also about time that has passed, and you have more wisdom, you have more understanding. So when you look back, you can see how far you've come, or you can see what needs to be changed or corrected. Okay, because this is very much a correction action. So what has stood the test of time for you? Face the truth of that. Okay, you could be winning or you could be losing with this card. But from that will come better things, because now you have a clearer idea of what it is you need to do. So take responsibility for your own dreams and goals, and also dealing with the past, putting it behind you. It's also about gaining clarity on what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so this could be what you're supposed to be doing in your relationship, or what you're supposed to be doing in your business partnership, or in your finances. It has a great many aspects to it, or just your overall your overall outlook on the more solid parts of your life. What are you supposed to be doing now? You're going to get clarity on that if you face the truth and actually deal with all the aspects. Look back, see what you can change. It's about mastering your goals as well, releasing and redirecting. So releasing what is not serving you and redirecting your energy and your finances possibly into what is going to serve you now going forward. So it's very much a redirection, a correction energy, but it's also about being mature and responsible. Then in the 9th house, we have Jupiter Abundance. Lovely card to be having in your 9th house. So Jupiter in Abundance, the 9th house is to do with it's all things foreign and international. So this could be international travel, or learning about foreign cultures, foreign people, foreign businesses, business practices, whatever it could be. It could be just knowledge as well, import, export. It's higher university, higher education. So that's university. So you could be embarking on a field of study now, where you're going to be learning various things. It's also adult education. It's also, this card is very much about adventure and exploration. So whether this is in your mind, or whether you're physically traveling, or you're just learning new things. It's also the house of understanding the deeper aspects of philosophy, religion, and belief systems of all kinds. It's also the house of the law. So whether you're studying the law, or you're understanding it more, or you're involved in a legal matter of some kind. It's also the the house of publishing, teaching, and public relations and public promotions of all kinds. It's also your relationship with your in-laws. So it's quite a broad house, but it's also about faith and wisdom and gaining the deeper meaning and understanding about your life, where you're headed, what you want to do, and so on. So now, with this, it's a lovely card to be coming in because it brings in rewards and gifts and so on. It's a lucky break of some kind coming in for you, a gift, a reward, or a windfall even. But it's a blessing of some kind, whatever that manifests for you. It could also just be strength to continue or strength to get through something, faith. It could be bringing in relief if you've had very difficult circumstances up to now, a relief of some kind, or a rescue, or divine intervention. It's also about receiving generosity or you giving generosity. It could also be about finding your purpose. So if you're wanting to study something, you could be finding your purpose, or if you're understanding deeper aspects of religion or belief systems, you could really be seeing something which is just right for you. Blocks will be removed in some way. Whatever you've been blocked with in this house will be removed at this time with the card. It's about positivity. It's about expansion and adventure and exploration, as I said. But learning, visiting university or learning, going to places of higher learning. Perhaps you're looking at different places where you want to study or so on, or you're looking at them online, however it is. It could also, as I said, be about international travel. Perhaps you're taking a trip somewhere with a significant other, or you're just getting an unexpected trip in some way, some kind of gift, or something you've been planning and now you get the go-ahead to go. But whatever it is, work is still required with this card. Yes, something may come to you, but you need to follow the opportunities. You need to follow up on the blessings. You need to be quick about it as well, because the energy is not forever lasting. It's not a continual supply. This is something that's going to come to you. You need to follow all the opportunities that come and see where they lead you. Then in the 10th house, we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. 10th house is your house of career, fame, reputation, and your public status. And that could be, going from married to divorced, or single to married, or it could be you could be a business owner and now you're becoming employed. There's various ways that this can change for you. It could also be, that you're retiring, you're no longer out there and you're now going to a quieter life. It could also be to do with authority figures of some kind in your environment, or it could be somebody that you admire, or an authority figure in your home or in your workplace. Or just somebody that you really look up to, okay? So with Black Moon Lilith Mystery coming in, this is a kind of a bit of a mysterious card. It could go a number of ways for you, but it seems to me that there are unknown factors affecting this house at this time. So there are undercurrents going on. You can't quite see which way things are going to go. You could be waiting for something to happen. You could be waiting for aspects to become clear. They're just not clear now. As I said, they're undercurrents. So this is deep moving energy, and that is not manifesting quite yet into something that you can take an action on. But it could also be that you're needing to stand firm in some way on something. This card also does tend to activate certain things in either in yourself or in others. So you could be seeing sort of darker emotions which are now coming out. And these darker emotions are sort of being stirred into action now, and it's usually emanates from fear of some kind. So from that comes anger, jealousy, or envy, bitterness, revenge, rebellion even. Some rebellion is good, but other rebellions can get you into all kinds of difficulties. And it could also just be the feelings of being slighted or overlooked in some way, and that all of that, you need to find a healthy outlet for it. Get those emotions under control if they're within you, okay? Or you could be needing to advise somebody, or you could just be seeing it in your environment, okay? Perhaps there's been a shift in your career or your work environment and you're seeing something. But it's about getting those emotions under control and sort of finding a healthy outlet for them, because otherwise what they do is they go inward and they fester, and then you start harboring them, and then they manifest in some other way. So just see how that goes for you. But I feel overall it is just because of the way things are moving in your chart, it could just be that you're waiting for something to come through for you. Clarity in some way. Then in the 11th house, we have air element communicating. So again, this is a communication card, everything to do with that. It's coming into your 11th house, which is your house of friendships. So you may be changing that or seeing that differently at this time. It could just be that you need to get clear on certain aspects within your friendships, but it's also the house of your own personal hobbies and interests and your hopes and dreams for yourself. So getting clear on that. And it's also about all kinds of group activities of all kinds. So where you are in some kind of group activity with others, or like an association or a society or a club even, where you're cooperating with others. It could even be a group of companies, right? It's also the house of your networks and your contacts which you make throughout your life. So it's also the house of group consciousness, global consciousness, trends in society, and so on. So with this card coming in, this is all about technology. It's about news. It's about the airwaves. It's about communication, however that is, whether that's internet or physical, verbal communication or written. You could be hearing things. So it's insight into all of that. You could be hearing gossip, or you could be hearing news or receiving messages in some way. So apply that to whatever aspect of your 11th house. But it's your words are top priority, very, very important. Honesty is also important. So put into words what it is you need to say. Get clear about what you expect and what you want. But always with this card, positive manifestation is going to happen at this time. So if you're going to be talking about yourself amongst others, or talking to others in general about what it is you're undertaking in these activities, whether it's a group activity or in a society, always aim for the positive, because that is what's going to manifest for you. You don't want to manifest negative thoughts, negative aspects of yourself or your situation or what you're going through at this time, or with your friendships. You want to always manifest the positive and bring that into your life. And this is the card of magic and manifestation. So be careful what you say at this time. So speak well of yourself and what you're dreaming of and your goals, and speak well of others and friends at this time. You could be weighing things up right now, because this is very much an air energy. It's a mental energy, weighing things up. You maybe need to be in an unemotional space at this time in order to make this decision, or you could be going the other way and being overly unemotional, just not putting much effort into that at all. Or you could be overthinking totally, all right? This card is about taking a journey of some kind. It could be a trip of some kind. It could be related to what you're involved in the 11th house. But communication is very important right now. And that could be technology, some kind of change or upgrade as well going on there. Then in the 12th house, we have Neptune sacrifice. 12th house is your house of the unconscious, your unconscious motivations and drives. And it's also where you bury stuff, right? And this is where you go when you need to retreat or withdraw. You go to your 12th house. It's also about your dreams and receiving divine downloads and thoughts and insights and so on, guidance. It's your spiritual life, it's your meditation, your mysticism, your healing. So healing may be very important at this time. As I said, it came up in your 6th house, which is the house of healing. So you could be grappling with something, and this card is associated with that. Because the 12th house is also about escapism of all kinds. And from that sometimes can come addictions. So drugs and addictions of all kinds. So perhaps you need to put plans in motion now to deal with that, which came up in your 6th house. So health, diet, lifestyle. Action needs to be taken on that now. So get that thing whatever it is under control. Or it could just be a deeper wisdom and understanding of your place in life and your mysticism and your spiritual self. Or you could be overcoming certain unconscious aspects which you have grappled with. So karmic lessons is involved in this house. Also secluded and sacrificial service. But also this house is the house of service to others, selfless service to others. So this could be a profession of yours, or something that you're longing to do, or you want to do, or you just do naturally. Okay. This house is also the house of your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So whether this is a learning institution like a university or a library or a hospital or a government institution, or a prison even, any place where you're going to have experiences there, whether you're going there for some reason or you're going with another. It's what you learn there, all right? So with Neptune sacrifice, what I feel this is bringing in for you is, with all these changes and things that have been shifted in your chart, I feel you could be, when we're making changes in any way, we may have to give up certain things in order to move forward for the greater good. So whether this is giving up an addiction, or you're making some sort of personal sacrifice, or you're just letting something go, but it's also clarity around that. And knowing what it is you have to do. You may just have to surrender to what is for now. It's also about blending as well, blending at this time. It's also this card, that the higher aspect of it is accessing your higher consciousness, your dreams, your imaginative abilities. And from that comes all kinds of aspects like, sort of abilities in music and the arts, filmmaking, and all kinds of glamorous activities, anything to do with that comes in with this card. And it's beauty and fashion. There's also things that will come in with this, they're all ruled by Neptune. So you kind of be exposed to that in some way. Possibly it's a new profession for you, or you have interests in it. The other side of this card can be just working through finding clarity in certain things, because you may fall victim to confusion of some kind, or deceptions. This can be self-deception or deception through others, illusions, or self-sabotage, addictions, as I said, or toxins in your environment are affecting your health. So clean up, deal with the toxins and things that are going on in your environment. Change to a more natural lifestyle. You could be gullible at some time, or be mixing with the wrong crowd right now. So with this card comes boundaries. Yes, you may have to make a few sacrifices, but boundaries are very, very, very important with this card. And all kinds of emotional game playing may be coming up, and you've got to put a stop to it so that you can move forward and harness all these other lovely energies which are available to you now at this time. Okay, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed that. Action-packed. Have a great month and take care, and I will see you next time.